This is the Your Dollars Making Sense podcast, brought to you by Jamie Blanton with Jacob Title, Bales Property Management and Home Building, SHH Mechanical, Boyles Tax Service, 412 Pub House, Anytime Fitness, and Cotton Home Inspections.
Hey everybody, Richard Neese here. Thank you so much for tuning in to Your Dollars Making Sense, where we believe that financial intelligence is the key to financial freedom. If you guys haven't tuned in before, thank you for listening for the first time. If you're on our podcast, if you're listening on WKOL or Facebook, thank you so much for listening in. We really want to help good people get to a better place, and I believe that the more that you know, the more power that you have. The more that you know, the better decisions you will make. So we started this podcast radio show. It's about 6 months ago now. Time goes by quickly, because I continually had someone asking me, hey, let's go sit down at lunch and let's talk about investing. Hey, let's meet up for breakfast and talk about investing. What's the best thing what's the thing I should invest in that'll help me get to my retirement quicker? Or I want some extra money to make sure I can pay for the kids' college. All of these things are very, very important. And I would sit down and we would discuss and we would figure out a game plan and move forward. And I said, you know what? Why don't we just take this to the masses? Why don't we take it to more people so that I can help more people on a daily basis achieve their goals, help them get to retirement quicker? And if you guys have listened before, don't know me, my name is Richard Neese. I'm a local real estate broker in North Alabama. We really strive, push for investment properties. We talk about rental properties and office space, and we've had experts come on to talk about investment planning with IRAs and with different things that you can have in your portfolio. We really wanted to take a look at different investment strategies and decide what would be best for you. Let's compare these apples to apples and see what happens. Let's look at each investment type and see if it's going to work better for you or better for him or her, whatever the case might be. You can't make that decision until you've done one thing, and that's decide what retirement looks like. Decide what financial freedom looks like. Your financial freedom may be living in the woods with nothing to your name, but have certain investments that actually increase or pay for your monthly expenses or yearly expenses, and it may be minimal. You may be able to survive on $2,000 a month, $1,000 a month, because you've got everything paid off. Or you may want to have a lake home and a beach home and a mountain home. Those two investment strategies are going to be very, very different when we sit down and talk about them. You've got to have a goal first. What does retirement look like? And then we can backwards plan off of that. Obviously time matters. Time is important. If your goal is to be a millionaire and you have nothing to your name and you want to do that in the next year, we can figure out a strategy to get you there. Now, it's going to be much more high risk. If you're 20 years old and want to be a millionaire by the time you're 50, that makes it a lot easier. We can make safer, more conservative decisions in order to do that. But at the end of the day, we really just want to help you get to a better place and help you figure that out. None of this would be possible without our sponsors. So I want to give a quick shout out to a couple of our sponsors. Jamie Blanton with Jacob Title. Jamie does all of our most of our closings for our real estate company with Weicker. Thank you so much for sponsoring our show and continuing to support us and support small businesses and helping them grow. Also, Dale Bales with Bales Home Builders. Now, Dale has been around, I'm not going to tell you how long he's been around, but he's been helping the Coleman community for over 20 years, whether that's with home improvements, whether that's building homes. I work primarily with him on new construction. He is truly building a better Coleman, a better North Alabama by putting great homes at a great price in our area. And there's happy customers all around. You just ask about Dale and they'll be able to give you a good response to let you know, hey, this guy's doing a good thing for the community, building quality homes for quality people. And then one of my longtime sponsors, Chris Cotton with Cotton Home Inspections, or CHI. Chris does most of our inspections on the buyer side, prior law enforcement, the guy that helps me with entrepreneur courses that we're doing, all the stuff that I never even have to ask. I mean, Chris is always on board. He's always trying to inspire others. Chris took the jump a little bit later in life as far as the small business goes. And when he did it, he struggled, and then he realized, this is worth it, and he's always trying to spread that with folks. So thank you, Chris. Thank you, Jamie. Thank you, Dale. We really appreciate the sponsorships on here. So now let's go over the week in review. So I'm very excited. If you guys are from around the Coleman area, we've got some big news, some big things going on. We just purchased an office complex with about 21 office spaces, and we're super excited to turn it into a Synergy Center, some sort of entrepreneur incubation area. What we want to do is we want to provide co-working spaces, shared workspaces. We want to provide the resources for small businesses to get in a lower rate as far as the rental space go, to collaborate, to communicate with each other, get these courses with a small business association, work with other successful entrepreneurs, branding experts. We want to see all these guys that are out there hustling and struggling but missing one or two things. We want to provide those things for us. If you guys want to reach out, if you're looking for office space, if you want to look at a subscription-based service where you can come in and use some of the facilities on a part-time basis, please give us a call or come by Peachtree Plaza, 1528 Peachtree Lane. So it'll be, we're going to work on changing the name out, but right now we're going to stick with the Peachtree Plaza. And we're super excited. We've got some great tenants in there already, and we're going to provide more value for them because I really want this place to be an incubation center. I want folks to come in, have a great idea, and be able to be connected to 3, 4, 5 different people that can help them immediately. So week one, we're trying to help you succeed because that's what it's about. I mean, if you've ever read The Go-Giver, as soon as you walk in, you'll see the 5 laws of stratospheric success. You're going to walk in and see how you become successful, the real world, how you become successful. It's not cutting somebody's throat. It's not pushing somebody down. It's helping other people, giving more value than you expect to receive in payment, helping more people on a daily basis. That's what it's about. So we're super excited about that. We've got some other things going on with some new builds with Dave Dubberly with Dubberly Construction, Dale Bells, and Wynn Haven. We've got a new builder coming into town from Blount County, Kevin Stapp of Stapp Home Builders. All great people, great builders, taking advantage of this opportunity because our economy's in a great state right now, especially in our area. We've got overflow from Birmingham, overflow from Huntsville, and it's really building out this area to a point where it's constant. We got constant growth, and Coleman's growing in ways that we haven't seen before. But North Alabama's incredible, so we're super excited about that. So let's get back to kind of the premise of the show. We're going to be talking about real estate today. If you don't know, that's my favorite topic. Absolutely favorite. I was talking probably for 2 hours with one of my buddies the other day about depreciation and about the hidden benefits of real estate that people don't see when they're just looking at cash flow. We're talking about deductions and how you can use that to benefit you across the board. Now, when we talk about depreciation, we talk about legal terms and things like that. I'm going to go ahead and do a disclaimer. I'm not an accountant. I'm not a CPA. I'm not an attorney. These are general terms. If you want specific guidance on this stuff, you need to definitely go to your accountant or go to your attorney. If you don't have one, we can definitely hook you up with one too. Some great people that will help you, especially on the small business side, which is a great segue for another one of our sponsors, which is Christy Boyles with Boyles Tax and Bookkeeping. Now, Christy does an incredible job for me balancing 3, 4, 5 LLCs and real estate sales and new builds and rentals and having 4 kids and tax credits and all this stuff. She's incredible. So you guys give her a call. Christy Boyles with Boyles Tax and Bookkeeping. So back to financial intelligence. We want to give you guys the information necessary to make good decisions. My decision right now may be different than someone that's 65 years old, or it may be the same, depending on your risk tolerance. So you've got to evaluate who you are, what your strengths and weaknesses are, and then you can move forward. There's all kinds of great financial planners, folks that can help you on the real estate side, but you're taking the first step by just listening in today to take that step forward of I'm going to become financially free because I'm going to build my financial intelligence. So we appreciate you guys tuning in. We're coming up against the first break. When we come back, why real estate? I'm going to tell you why you should choose real estate, in my personal opinion, when investing, because it's been really good to me. It's been really good to a lot of people coming up on the other side.
This is the Your Dollars Making Sense podcast, brought to you by Jamie Blanton with Jacob Title, Bales Property Management and Home Building, SHH Mechanical, Boyles Tax Service, 412 Pub House, Anytime Fitness, and Cotton Home Inspections.
Hey everybody, Richard Neese here. Welcome back to the second segment of Your dollars making sense, where financial intelligence is the key to financial freedom. We're trying to help you get to a better place by giving you that financial intelligence, by just spreading that wealth of knowledge, so that you can get to a better place, so that you can reach that financial freedom. We want you there. Why real estate? Why real estate? Why real estate? You hear this all the time. You see it on the infomercials. You see, buy this coaching program and, pay for this $3.99 booklet that'll teach you how to become a millionaire real estate investor. Usually that's good information, but you got to start thinking, why are they selling this information instead of just making millions off of the information? Because they want to scale? Maybe. Maybe they're just regurgitating what everybody else is telling you. But I'll tell you this, I'm willing to give that for free. You don't have to pay me $3.99. You don't have to do any of that. We want to give you this information, help you get to that better place. Why real estate? Because more millionaires have been made from real estate than any other investment. Let me say that again. More millionaires have been made from real estate than any other investment type. We're not talking about Bitcoin. We're not talking about the stock market. We're not talking about 401ks, blah, blah. More millionaires are made on a daily basis. Why? Well, like I said, I'm not a tax person. I don't claim to be a tax CPA, but there are so many tax benefits. There are so many ways to protect the money that you make as a real estate investor. What does that mean? If you've ever read Rich Dad Poor Dad, you know it's not how much money you make, it's how much money you keep. What does that mean? Well, if I'm paying Uncle Sam 35% of everything that I make, then start looking at that gross and say, I really didn't make as much money as I thought. But what happens if you can spend you can spend dollars before they get taxed to lower the amount that you're actually spending? Crazy. I know we can go through it step by step with an accountant, but at the end of the day, you want your real estate to pay for your lifestyle as well as make your bank account go up. What does that mean? That has a proven record. So you have deductions, you have depreciation, and you have cash flow. Cash flow is how much money I make after everything's paid at the end of the month. So if I've got one investment property, one door, one piece of land that I have hunting rights on, or whatever the case might be, how much do I make after I pay taxes, insurance, repairs, and the mortgage, if you have a mortgage on it? That's cash flow. Pretty simple to calculate when you start digging down into it. Usually folks go for about a 30% expenses. So if I make $1,000 off a rental property, then about $700 of that is what I'll make with expenses. And then you have your mortgage that you deduct from that. So if the mortgage is $600, you made $100 per month off of that. Well, Richard, that doesn't sound like a lot of money. You're exactly right. It does not sound like a lot of money. But when you start digging into it, there's more than just that. So the depreciation, the deduction, you're improving the value of the property when you're making repairs on it. Now, that can be something that's depreciated over time or an expense immediately, so it shows no real profit. So you're not paying taxes on it, but you're creating a better property. Well, yeah, I'm paying a mortgage on this thing. I'm only making $100 a month, but are you really? You're making $100 after everything's paid, but there's a principal and an interest that are being taken out of that mortgage every time you pay it. So, and my question on that one is, who's actually paying that? Your renter's paying for that. So with that, let's say 30% of that is, or 20% of that is actually principal. So you're making $600 a month payment on it. 20% is principal. So that means that your note, which was $100,000 before, went down by that 20%. So there's $200 that just came off of it. Doesn't seem like a lot, right? Well, in 20 years, you'll have a $100,000 property or better because it will have appreciated that somebody else paid for it. That's the most important. Somebody else paid for it. So if you guys listen to me on a regular basis, you'll know we had a reading challenge in October with The Richest Man in Babylon, and they talk about dollars working for you, and then those dollars working for another dollar. So you got all of these slaves, you got all these employees, you got all these workers that are $1 bills, $100 bills, $1,000 bills that are working to create more money for you while you work at your day job, while you're on the beach, whatever you're doing, while you're sleeping. These are making you money. Why is that important? because on a 20-year note, that's paid for. So the question would be, if my mortgage is paid on this stuff, if I'm having tenants pay for it and getting cash flow to protect in case there's a major repair that has to be done, there's headache involved. Yes, there's headache involved. You're going to have management companies if you want to do that. If you want to do it yourself, that's great. There's headache in everything. But what do I want to have? $10,000 working for me for 20 years? $100,000? Or $1 million working for me for 20 years? Because, like I said, at the end of the day, after 20 years, you've got a property worth $10,000, $100,000, or $1 million. Which one do you want? Why is that important? Because I've got more dollars working for me consistently. More money working for me instead of me working for money. You don't want to work for money, you want your money to work for you. That's what investing is about. Summed up in those few words. Don't work for money, have your money work for you. I mean, it sounds simple. I know there's so many different layers that you go through on this, but it's important to know that that is the most important thing, is how can I get my money that's sitting in my bank account, savings, checking, whatever the case might be, making more than what the bank's making. That's how banks make money. I'm sure I've got some lenders listening to me right now. They make money consistently off of, I'm going to make 4%. I'm going to put money in my savings account, and they're going to pay me 1%. They're going to take my $100,000 or $5,000 or $100, and they're going to loan that money to somebody else for 5%. So they just made 4% just by having that money in one place. Why do we consistently think that the bank is the only person that can do that? Use other people's money to make a higher percentage. Me and one of my buddies were going around and around about this the other day. There's so many opportunities for real estate investors because when you spend that money, you still have equity built up in a property. So let's say that I put a $20,000 down payment on something, or whatever the case might be, that is equity built up. That money's not gone. You can use that in most cases to borrow against it. There's so many things, so many tools, I'm not going to say tricks, there's so many different tools that you can use to increase your wealth. But the key is you've got to stop working for money. You've got to stop selling a product. You've got to stop working for an hourly wage because you're trading time for dollars instead of having dollars work for dollars. Oh, Richard, that's easy said. But I mean, how long have you been doing this? I mean, you sell real estate. Yes, I trade time for money. I absolutely do it. But I have a continual goal that I will increase my holdings in real estate to increase that monthly cash flow, to increase that wealth building over the next 5 years. I want to be retired when I'm 35. What does retirement mean to me? Retirement means if I don't want to work, I don't want to have to. If I want to just have a nonprofit and work for free and help kids that are in disadvantaged kids in bad homes or homeless or troubled, I want to be able to do that. That's retirement for me. It's not having to go show a house because I've got to pay a bill. That's not what I want. So in order to do that, you've got to have a cognizant plan that you're moving towards. I'm getting all fired up, I know. So one guy that I really, really respect, and he's done this over the last 30, 40 years since I think he was investing when he was 5 years old. Super smart guy, Stephen Gannon. Stephen runs a couple of different businesses in the Coleman area. He's actually got a franchise outside of that. He runs and he's got 2 Anytime Fitness programs. So when Stephen is working on other things, it's still making him money. It's an investment. That business is an investment for him. He's got it running. And then he also has 412 Pub House, which is an incredible place to eat. If you guys are in Coleman, please swing by. You got to try. I mean, they've got some great drinks there. They've got some great food. Incredible chef. Very nice people in there all the time. So make sure you swing by, have a meal with those guys, enjoy it. And if you see Stephen, ask him about investing. Ask him about business. He is one of those guys that will share everything with you because he knows that you could be the person that helps him down the road. He wants to see you succeed. I forget what the saying is, all boats rise with a high tide. I believe that's right. Steve is one of those guys. So thank you guys so much for sponsoring Your Dollars Making Sense. We appreciate you so much. You do so much for our community, and you're allowing me to help good people get to a better place, which is important for me. So we're going to do a recap on the other side of this. We're going to go over cash flow again, depreciation, deductions, why real estate is the way, and then we're going to talk about a couple more sponsors and some events that we got coming up.
This is the Your Dollars Making Sense podcast, brought to you by Jamie Blanton with Jacob Title, Bales Property Management and Home Building, SHH Mechanical, Boyles Tax Service, 412 Pub House, Anytime Fitness, and Cotton Home Inspections.
Welcome back to Your Dollars Making Sense. I'm your host, Richard Neese, local real estate broker, real estate investor, dad of 4, busy man all the time, but I really appreciate each and every one of you for carving out 30 minutes of time to listen to Your Dollars Making Sense. We believe that financial intelligence is the key to financial freedom. Thank you, Ron Jr. And Big Ron, for allowing me to have the radio show on WKUL 92.1. If you're listening on the podcast, you can tune in live, pre-recorded on WKUL at 10 a.m. on Saturdays. If Auburn's not playing, if they are, then they usually bump me, which is okay. Normally I would have a guest on. We're talking about real estate today, so I'm kind of going solo. I'm kind of glad I don't have some guests on today. If you guys are from the state of Alabama, you know we had something pretty big last week, which broke my heart, but I'm an Alabama fan, a rough Iron Bowl. But anyways, we won't even talk about that. What we'll talk about is that the investment, the time, the discipline. Discipline is so important in investing. You can't shoot from the hip. You've got to have your ducks in a row, but you've also got to believe in yourself. You've got to move towards that and say, I can make this work. I can make this right. There is no perfect investment strategy. There is no perfect real estate deal. There's always something that could go wrong. There's always something that does go wrong. Nothing is perfect. So don't think that it's going to be a cakewalk, because it's not. I mean, I've had, I was fixing a rail on Thanksgiving morning for one of my tenants. You know why? Because they needed it to be safe. So we went out Thanksgiving morning. I had me and my grandpa. We fixed it and got it ready to go. We also put out some traps for some squirrels that got up into an attic space. Most people would sit there and say, golly, Richard, you're giving up your time. I thought you were an investor. I thought you had people that handled that. Yeah, I'm not going to call an employee out to do that on Thanksgiving Day for my properties. They deserve to be at home with their families too. So that there's give and take on this. Nothing is easy. Everything takes work. Anything worth having is worth working for, especially on the real estate side. So we talked about real estate has a proven record. More millionaires are made from real estate. Deductions. So when you work on your property, it decreases your profit on paper. And it decreases your profit across the board too, but you're improving that property for it to be longer standing, because this is something that's going to make you money hopefully for 30 or 40 years. Not just a couple years. Depreciation is one that you should definitely understand. Depreciation is something that you can count off on paper, on your taxes. So it's 3%, about 3% a year is what it ends up being. But that 3% comes straight off of your profit. Do you actually spend that money? No, you don't. But it says that the usefulness of the property has decreased every year from the time that you bought it. So with that, it's a great tool to protect your profit. They know that the property needs maintenance. It has wear and tear. Every year it gets older. So the government protects us in a tax break through that deduction process. If you want more details on this, feel free to call Christy Boyles of Boyles Tax and Bookkeeping. She can help you with that. No problem. One thing I want to do too is I want to give a quick shout out to a couple more of our sponsors. Steadfast Painting Tamara is incredible. I'm telling you, very, very talented painter. If you guys are looking anywhere in North Alabama to have something done professionally, she's not going to skimp. I mean, she's going to do a great job on it, and you're going to love the process. She's great with color. She's great with all of the cutting in. It's beautiful to see a true artist at work. So thank you for sponsoring Your Dollars Making Sense tomorrow. We really appreciate you and all the work that you do. And also, we're going to talk about the Peachtree Plaza. So like I said, we bought the Peachtree Plaza this week. We're super excited about the shared workspace, giving entrepreneurs, freelancers, the ability to succeed without having to have a 2-year lease on a commercial lease, without having huge expenses and overhead. We know that in this economy right now, we're doing well, but small businesses still need to remain liquid. They still need to have cash flow so that they can pay different employees and do this and do that. So we're creating an environment that is a shared workspace environment. We're super excited about it. Lower costs. We want to have a collaborative environment where we can incubate ideas, help each other, have classes with the Small Business Association. We really want to produce a better entrepreneur in our area. We want to give folks the ability to succeed on a daily basis. So if you guys haven't been convinced yet, real estate is a great way to increase your investments, to increase your net worth. It's a great way. It's a headache. It can be. Everything can be headache. But it's a great way for you to start building that wealth over a long period of time. And to me, one of my friends told me a while back, and it's very true. He said real estate is a great investment because it's not liquid. Real estate is also a bad investment because it's not liquid, meaning you can't get in and out of real estate very quickly like you can in the stock market. So you're in it for the long haul, which is better for an investor anyways. You've got to look at years and not months. There's lots of opportunities to make a quick buck in real estate, but if you want long-term success, you've got to consistently build those portfolios, consistently build properties, improve properties, add value. That's the key, is adding value to whatever you do. If you do that, you'll be successful in investing. Thank you guys so much. Like I said, we have had some great sponsors that are continually on, so please support them. If you support them, if you call Chris Cotton or if you call Jamie Blanton with Jacob Title, please let them know that you heard about them from us, because we want them to know we're helping good people get to a better place. We're helping them increase their business so they can help more people as well. Thank you guys so much. I hope you guys have a great weekend.
This is the Your Dollars Making Sense podcast, brought to you by Jamie Blanton with Jacob Title, Bales Property Management and Home Building, SHH Mechanical, Boyles Tax Service, 412 Pub House, Anytime Fitness, and Cotton Home Inspections.